Well, welcome back to IndigoMusic.com, and I am absolutely kicked to have Shibani Kashyap on the other side, talking to us from Bombay. Shibani, of course, who's a singer, an actress, a model. She's pretty much done it all. And I'm just going to welcome her on board. Shibani, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Melbin. Thank you so much. And it's good to be, connecting with you again after...
Yeah, it's been a few years.
When you were in Delhi.
Shibani, there's so much to talk about. You know, a lot of musicians and artists had to really adapt during these times. I mean, there were no, stage shows were not happening. And of course, you couldn't even go to the studio to record or any of that. So you really had to go out of your way to find different ways and adapt. So maybe you can share some of your experiences over the last 2 years as well.
Of course, I struggled my way through it initially because I wasn't very hands-on with the technology, but then of course we pulled in sound engineers with OBS systems and all of that, so that the sound would not be compromised. We would get enhanced sound in our gigs. So
Right.
Even though things have been opening up in November, December, I did about 20 gigs. I went to US last month, and I was there for about 15 days. I did some amazing concerts there as well. But again, this third wave happened, and again we were back to the virtual medium. So I think what I have come to believe is that it'll be a hybrid form now. I think virtual and the physical will go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And now with metaverse coming in, it's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, that is going to be a whole other ball game. I'm not even sure if I'm excited about the metaverse or a little scared, but let's see
I'm excited.
how it all shapes up. Let's take things back a little bit. Let's start with your journey so many years ago. And I think radio had something to do with your initial success back in the day. So
yes, I'll sing a few lines of that because that's how I actually started my career. Okay.
All right, let's have it.
You've got the music on me night and day. FM is ready for you in the morning or late at night. Whoa, you gotta let the music play. AIR, FM stereo all the time on All India Radio.
Amazing. That's the voice that really stood out. Sorry?
Does that ring a bell?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It definitely does ring a bell for me.
That was the only, FM or stereo radio available at that time when it launched in India in 1996. I was in college, and I remember singing this jingle, and it used to play every hour for 24 hours, right? It was 24 hours. So 24 times a day, this jingle used to play in all the metros where AIR FM was there. And then, of course, it paved the way for all the other amazing radio stations like Indigo and all of them. So
brilliant. Right now, currently, you've just recently done some very exciting stuff. One is an anthem you've done with Ricky Cage. It's called Heartfulness Peace Anthem, and the other a Punjabi song called Buhe Baria. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So tell us a bit about both of those tracks.
So Ricky Cage is a very, I'm sure you are all aware about him, and he's from your city, Bangalore, right?
Yeah.
So it was a pleasure to connect with him because I actually follow Heartfulness. It's basically a spiritual way of life kind of a thing. So I got initiated into the Heartfulness organization, and so is Ricky Cage. So they were actually looking for a peace anthem, and then they asked Ricky Cage to make it, and then they connected him and me together. And I sang on it, and it was such a beautiful experience, even though we did it all virtually. I, of course, recorded my vocals from my Delhi studio, sent it to him. Then he kind of mixed and mastered and made the music.
Shibani, you're someone who started off, in the late 90s, and you're still doing music even now in 2022. So you've seen it all. You've seen the times change. So I have this question, because back in the day, maybe getting into the scene as compared to getting into the scene right now, which one would you say is more difficult? Because back then, the avenues were less, but you could stand out. But right now, there are so many avenues, but you have to stand out. There's so much competition. So which one would you say would be the easier era to make it into the music industry?
So, Melvin, since I come from the era, so I'm a little biased towards that era because things were very streamlined, very beautifully streamlined. It was the MTV generation, it was television channels or radio or hoardings and the newspapers through which you could actually promote your music, and your new albums or whatever. And it used to be full albums, like we used to have CDs with full 8 songs. Absolutely. It used to be such a delight and a pleasure to actually, make those 8 songs and then release it maybe in a Planet M or a music store somewhere.
Yes, you're bringing back memories. Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
And the whole thrill was nice to have everybody there and then distribute the CDs. But now everything is, on the cloud, on the internet, or digital.
Absolutely. It is all about the viral generations. You were featured in one of the most iconic songs during the indie pop days of the late 90s. And of course, I'm talking about Ho Gayi, Hey Mohabbat. That song was a song that I came back from school turning, MTV on. I've seen that song over and over again. So brings back a lot of memories. And I think your life changed immediately, like an overnight success. So, maybe you can take us back to that time and how life exactly changed for you after that.
Truly, yes, that is my very first project as a pop singer. And I think from that time, from 1998, since that song released, till now, I think it's so incredible that people, I thought people would have forgotten the song by now, but everybody remembers it so much. And and Ho Gayi Mohabbat is something which I have been called the Ho Gayi Mohabbat girl for the longest time.
I'm sure.
The song as
not
a
even surprised. But we did bring in that song, and maybe you can play a few lines of that song.
Of course. Just to tell you all and all the listeners of Indigo, do check out the reprise version of this song, which is released in 2014. And check it out. We've of course used the visuals from the original video and some new visuals. But the music is very tropical, deep house. You guys will love it. You really like it, Melvin, I'm sure.
All right. We'll definitely check it out. All right, Shibani, so take it away. Let's do some jamming. Absolutely amazing. Really does bring back the memories. Shibani Kashyap, that was amazing. But I'm going to quickly try and fit in a quick rapid fire round. We got to be very quick. Quick questions. You know how it works. So let's do this. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. The first question. The best thing that happened to you in the year 2022?
Okay. So I have just signed with a very amazing platform called Fan Anywhere, where my NFTs are going to be marketed and sold from that platform. NFTs is the future, and I'm super excited about this.
I'm very impressed with how you're really staying relevant to the times, which is
I am like that.
Really amazing. Okay, your next question: a K-pop artist you wouldn't mind collaborating with?
I don't know the names, Baba. So yeah.
All right, fine. So I'm guessing you are staying relevant with the digital world. NFTs and the metaverse, but not so much K-pop. But okay, so the next question: one dish you wouldn't mind having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Honestly, I love idli sambar. I can have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I
Wow.
just
Okay.
simply love it.
Idli sambar. It is okay. Are you sure? Is it not? Is it not something from Delhi? I mean, considering you grew up in Delhi. No.
No, I find idli sambar very light and
Yes.
it's easy on the palate and it's yummy. I find it delicious because it's an all-time dish. You can have it for breakfast or dinner or lunch, actually.
All right. I think you just won a lot of Bangalore fans just for that answer.
Oh, really?
All right. Your next question: a show you are binging on currently.
I have binged watched Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, and yeah, that was crazy. It's a crazy show, and of course, Money Heist.
Money Heist. All right. And my final question to you, considering, I grew up in the 90s and so I'm sure you remember the 90s so much. So I had to fit this in. Your first ever email ID, because we all had some really funny ones back in the day. So do you want to tell me your first ever email ID? What was that?
Shibani Kashyap at rediffmail.com.
That's it? Oh, you didn't have any of those funny ones like Sweet Girl or, Top Notch Girl or any of those really weird 90s email
I
IDs?
kept it pretty simple because I thought my name itself was pretty unique because there were not too many Shibanis on the block that time.
So clearly you were ahead of the time.
There was not a single other Shibani Kashyap. So I was the only singular Shibani Kashyap.
Super Shibani. Thank you so much for joining me on indigomusic.com. It's been an absolute pleasure once again to chat with you, and all the very best.
Thank you, Melvin. It was great to be with you once again. Thank you.